Alright, hello gamers. We're back. And we're doing science today. God help me. We're doing the stream and we're doing the recording, so hopefully that shit plays nice. We'll see. So far so good, but you know, we haven't done anything. But then again, when I took a look at it yesterday, it seemed okay. So I'm trying to be hopeful. I wanna think that a game like Steins is not taxing. Although then again, I don't know how taxing recording is, but it's okay. We're doing, you know, Steins science and streaming science. Just double science today. Speaking of which, I should freaking get in here. It's hot. I'm losing it today. It's very warm, but I got the AC cranked and a fan, which I hope you don't hear. But yeah, I'm late, so I might as well just jump into things, but I had to... Tomorrow is cardboard and recycling, so I had to take out a lot of shit. Because I get a lot of cardboard. But it's okay, because I survived the mosquitoes. They are just as bad as yesterday. Or worse, I don't know. But I used bug spray, so I'm evolving. Because, my god, it's a war out there. But, let's, jump back in, shall we? Oh yeah, we were running back from the lab, weren't we? That's what. Because we had a whole, like, showdown right at the very end. Well, I don't know if... No, I'll classify it as a showdown. There was some shit happening. We ran into those guys. Oh, and we found out where they're from, too. I will not be naming that, but it's okay, someone else will. I could look it up, but, they're American, like I guessed, so it tracks. Stratford! Dude, yes! That, like... I'm not gonna lie, it freaks me out a little bit. Just because it's literally it's one letter off a place that's like an hour away from me. So when I look at it, I'm like, why is it spelled wrong? I'm like, wait a minute. Hold the phone. But, yeah. The way I'm gonna be, like, looking at my OBS a little bit extra today, just to see if I drop frames, but... I actually also did a science yesterday. I have no idea if... I feel like it might have worked, but, the VOD that I uploaded to YouTube, to anyone who looks at those things, will notice it was uploaded real early. As in, last night, which is unheard of for me, because I'm bad at that. I'm so sorry. But instead of uploading it the way that I normally do through Twitch, I immediately downloaded the stream, and then I uploaded that, which I think might have also worked, but, you know, I don't know. I tried to, like, scrub through it myself to see if anything had been muted. And to me, it didn't look like it. But then again, it's, you know, it's like 3 hours or more of footage. So it's easier to find that if you're actually watching it through. But I tried. But yeah, we'll still see how today goes. So hopefully we can get past the muting that I still apologize for, because I didn't realize that was happening. Screams and DMCA. But, yeah. Let's lock in, shall we? We finally made it to the lab. Mayuri, Ferris, and everyone else were already there waiting. And Kagari, too. Really terrible timing for me to be talking about the game being muted, or the streams being muted, and the game was like, yeah, you're not gonna have sound right now. Have fun. But it's okay, because I'm talking. Everyone wants that. That's what we're here for. Kagari was lying on the couch in obvious pain. Her breathing was shallow. Her complexion was pale. That's why I was out in the sun. I was photosynthesizing. It's also why I'm late. I'm so sorry, but something vitamin D, something apparently good for my mental health. I don't know. I try to get out when I can. And the weather has not been weathering correctly over here, so I was like, I should just sit out for a while. But it's okay, because I'm still here. Something bad could happen to her at any moment. Yeah, homegirl is not doing good. Understandably so.
なる。どうだ？ちょい待ち。前にハッキングかけた時のルートがあるから今探ってる。前にって。お前、そんな危険なことをしてたのか？ちょっとね、友達と賭けでね。どっちが早くハックできるか勝負したんだ。ゴーゴーカレー1年分。
Go-Go Curry, a curry chain based out of Kanazawa, Ishikawa. It has stores all over Japan, but primarily in the northern and eastern parts of the country. It offers Kanazawa curry, which is famous for its thick roux and katsu and cabbage on top. That sounds so good. That actually just reminded me. Is it too much curry? Maybe, but there's gonna be like a week in August that I picked out my HelloFresh yesterday that I'm getting butter chicken curry, and then they're doing a Japanese curry like what they just described, and I'm so hyped. The way I picked both of them so fast, like I was like, oh, I haven't had butter chicken in a hot minute. That sounds great. And then I scrolled down and I saw the new Japanese one, and I was like, I have been waiting. I've been wanting to try something like that. So I'm gonna be really happy that week, I feel. Be eating a lot of rice. It's gonna be great. Very excited. Future me is gonna have a good week. He probably had no idea how dangerous that was.
あれ？どっちが勝ったか聞かないん？
I feel like if Daru won, we would know. From the way he was acting, there was no need to even ask.
とにかく急いでくれ。
But, okay, fair enough.
ラジャー。
I feel like he would have told us already. But then again, we're in the, like, depressed route, I suppose. So maybe Daru wouldn't have had the chance to say something happy like that. There's a lot going on, to be fair. Since their plan to steal back Kagari had failed, there was a good chance Stratfor would resort to even more desperate measures. I mean, yeah, that dude killed himself so that we wouldn't find out anything. That's kind of desperate. There was no time to waste. And... The hell was that?
いや、なんでもない。
なんでもないことないにゃ。見せるにゃ。
The downside of being smart and using the bug spray this time is that sure smell like bug spray now. Not sure how this is gonna... Not sure what I'm gonna do about this, but for now, we ride. Ferris ripped off my coat. Oh shit! Did we get shot? Or what happened here? I tried to avoid looking at it, but there was a lot more dark blood staining the side of my shirt than I expected to see. When the man had stabbed me before, it must have gone in pretty deep. Oh, we got stabbed! Oh, shit.
問題ない。
I don't know if that's true.
問題ないわけないにゃ。
That's
ルカにゃ
a lot of blood.
手の用よ。
俺は大丈夫だ。マユリ、それよりも、かがりは
Kagari was still lying on the sofa, panting for breath. For the last few days, she'd been getting weaker and weaker. Oh, it's so bad she lost her nose. Her hand reached up into the air. Somebody got her nose, chat. Shit's dire.
ママはここだよ。ちゃんとそばにいるよ。
Mayuri grabbed her hand tightly, and she finally smiled a weak smile.
ママ、私このまま消えちゃうのかな。大丈夫だよ。きっとオカリンとダルくんが何とかしてくれるから。
Oh, the choice of streaming, bro! Me and my freaking short-ass streams, we just bare got here! That shit is... okay. Yep. Man,
オカリン
it's bad. Just straight from the get-go.
そうだよ。オカリンわかるよね。オカリンさん。
Kagari's lifeless eyes turned towards me. This is so much worse than when we last saw her. I mean, that was bad, but like, this girl's straight up dying.
心配しなくていい。
Oh,
もう少しで元通りになる。
オカペさん。私を消して。
why is it like she's becoming aware?
かがり。
You know that's not Kagari. She wouldn't call you that. No.
彼女の中から私を消して。このままじゃ彼女が。
Those were Kurisu's words. Personality and memory were two different things. Then why is that happening? Just because she had Kurisu's memories, that didn't mean she had Kurisu's personality. But... oh, that's... that's fricked up.
私を消して。
Those were definitely Kurisu's words. At least, that's how it seemed to me. I remembered what she'd said before. She told me to save Mayuri. She told me she couldn't sacrifice Mayuri to save herself. Maybe there was a tiny chance that Kurisu's memories would safely settle inside Kagari's mind. But even if they did, I knew what she'd chosen. Hey, Marlon, you've missed... not much, but like... shit's really dire. Kagari's not doing too hot, bro. She is not doing good at all. It's like Kurisu is speaking to us, saying to erase her. so that we can save Kagari. Also, we were stabbed, I guess, last stream. I didn't realize that, but yeah, Okabe's bleeding pretty bad. But yeah, we we literally just started stream again and shit just immediately hit the fan. So she'd chosen to leave. She'd chosen to disappear. I had no way of knowing if the words coming out of Kagari's mouth were from another personality created by Kurisu's memories. But there was no doubt that they were Kurisu's words. It would have to be. I guess? I don't know how that works. Right now, she was nothing but a formless thing called memories. So why even now, when she was nothing but memories, did she still have to suffer so much? Why did she have to suffer at all?
ごめんね、岡部。
Clear drops fell from her softly closed eyes.
誰まだか
Kurisu. I asked him to stop myself from screaming her name.
待って、もうすぐもうすぐ。
まずいよ、おじさん。
Suzuho whispered to me as she looked at the window.
1、2、3、何人か集まってきてる。ストラト4だ。
Oh, good. I mean, that tracks.
誰よし、来い来い来い。
I still don't know what the plan here is. The tension was rising every second. Was he done yet? Why wasn't he done yet?
シュー誰シューシューシュー来た来た来たビンゴ
Lukaku and the others brought the treatment device over, but I motioned for them to stay back as I looked down at the monitor. Are we just hoping that they have Kagari there? Because I'm worried about it. Maho leaned over Dar's other shoulder.
重要そうなファイルの中からサイズの大きなものを選んで。
Look at what seems important and pick the biggest one? Oh god. Thanks, Maho.
大きなのつともしかしてこれかな
CBMS, CBMR, drain, junk. That's what's behind my head.
でもファイルネームジョンって
That wouldn't have to do with, like, tighter, would it?
モーツァルトの洗礼名はヨハネ。きっとそれだわ。
Why does Mozart have a Christian name? And why do you know that?
なんかよくわからんけど OK 中にファイルがいっぱいあるんですけど
Jesus Christ.
見せて。
Inside the folder were several files labeled with codes.
ファイルが増えてる。私たちの研究段階じゃこんなに多くなかった。
Which meant that after the Amadeus program was shut down, it had ended up in Stratford's hands somehow, and they'd gone on to do more experiments with it. Oh, good. Of course. Well, clearly.
この中のどれかが
What am I
カガリ
saying?
さんの記憶データのはずだけど。
K6205 だ
We know that number.
K6205 番がカガリの記憶だ誰
Right. It's the Koshal number 620, the magic flute.
K62 あったこれだ後の手はずは事前に話した通りに頼む
It's better freaking work, bro. Compared to Kurisu's time leap machine, the process was a lot simpler. Since the memory data already existed, there was no need for a VR headset. Or the phone wave. All we had to do was use the decoder program on Kagari's memory data Then use CERN's LHC to compress it. Hi, Squeaker. You coming to watch? Yeah, you're here for moral support. Then we transferred the compressed data and sent it to the cell phone.
完全に囲まれた。
誰準備はいいかオールオッケーよし行くぞ
Oh. Why are we waiting? I looked up and saw that Maho was staring at the screen, her features frozen in an iron mask.
どうしたヒアジョさん
本当にうまくいくのかしら。もし失敗したら、かがりさんは。
I mean, Kagari is dying either way. At this point, I reached my arm around Daru's back and pat my hand firmly on her shoulder.
大丈夫だ俺が保証する
岡部さん。
Surely it can't be worse than what's already happened. Right? I stepped away from the PC and knelt down in front of the sofa where Kagari lay.
岡部さん。
いいな
Goodbye. Risu.
来た。
I believe the magic flute was a naming convention with the Amadeus program, which is we learned about before.
了解
The sounds of footsteps coming up the stairs. Oh my god, the phone's ringing? Okay, this is the most cool. Oh shit, we don't know the number. I'm answering! The phone I pressed against Kagari's head stopped ringing, and in that moment, the world changed. Oh! I should have known. I was inside a deep black darkness. There was no sound. You ever feel like you shouldn't answer the phone? No temperature. Just darkness. Cold and silence. No one was here. I didn't even know if I was awake, or asleep or awake. There was nothing but a vague sense of presence. Nothingness. Nothingness spreading out to infinity. Oh? Oh shit! Yeah, my brain panicked because I was thinking about the people outside, so I thought it was like someone of them, but you're so right. The whole it not being a headset kind of is like throwing me off a little bit, you know? I'm like, what do you mean just a phone is doing that? Like, how is that connected? Huh? What was I doing? Wasn't I?
ちょっと岡部。いつまでもそんなところで寝てると風邪ひくわよ。
Oh my god. I turned towards the voice. Standing there next to the open curtains of the development room was...
何よ。
なんだ、クリス、いたのか。
Bro's being really chill right now. Hello? Okay.
いたのかとはずいぶんご挨拶だな。さっきからずっとここにいたじゃない。
I scared myself a little too much. I was not paying attention to the numbers when we did whatever we just did. I assume we're back in alpha.
そうだったか。
そうよ。昨日も一昨日もずっとここにいたわよ。
Oh, it didn't stop. Oh, good. That... Don't know what that means then. It did seem that way, come to think of it. My head seemed like it was full of fuzz. Does he not remember what we were doing? But I wasn't sleepy or tired or anything like that. Oh, shit! My mind was very awake. But something was missing. Oh my god! That's crazy! He doesn't know what just happened.
そういえば、ダリアン・マユリはどうした？
あんた、本当に大丈夫？何か不具合でもあったんじゃない？
どういう意味だ？
橋田もまゆりも。ほら、そこにいるじゃない。
Now I really want to know when we are.
え？
おかりん、てってれー。
Yo! It's been a minute. First of the stream.
僕のこの大きすぎる存在感を見ようとしてるなんてどうかしてるぜオカリン。
Oh god, we're back in the summer! I think? Maybe? They're in their Steins Gate 1 outfits! Yeah! Old Daru graphics! The jump scare! Oh, that's right. Daru and Mayuri were always here, weren't they? No, it wasn't just them.
今日な、元気がないにゃ。フェリスの萌え萌えチャームで元気を取り戻すんだにゃ。
No, there just isn't any music right now. I don't like the way they fade in like that too. Oh, this is weird.
京馬さん、僕にできることがあったら何でも言ってくださいね。
This shit's eerie. Oh, it's so weird seeing them like that now. Ferris and Lukaku too. And
岡部倫太郎のために
even them?
その辺の食べられそうな草で私が特別ジュース作ってあげるよ。
Where the hell are we?
私もいるよ、岡部くん。
You know, I'm sure that a dream is more logical than whatever is actually happening. Suzuha and Moeka. All of the lab members were in the lab like they always were. That's right. This was my daily life. This was how I spent every day.
ふむ。全員いるようだな。
Oh, this is weird.
では、
Something really bad happened, bro.
第65,536回目の円卓会議を行う。お前たち、準備はいいか？
まったく、いつも暑苦しいわね。
What was supposed to happen? I don't know. We'll find out eventually, but I mean, considering we were just trying to save Kagari, but now we're in whatever this is. I feel like something. This just seems like something bad has occurred. You know?
お前こそ、いい加減そのおすましフェイスはやめるんだな、常習。
だから私はあんたの助手になった覚えはないと言ったろうが。
オカリンとクリスちゃんはいつも仲良しだね。
イチャイチャしやがってリア充爆発しろ。
Now go explode!
ちょっと橋田、私がいつこいつとイチャイチャしたって言うのよ。
仲がいいほど喧嘩するって言うにゃ。羨ましいです。漆原ルカも一緒にイチャイチャすればいいじゃん。ダメです。僕にはそんなことできません。
イチャイチャ
ねえ、お前たち、いつまで無駄話をしている。さっさと会議を始めるぞ。
Like, I don't know if we're in straight up a different reality, or if we're in like this is something he's using as a defense mechanism. You know? I can't tell yet.
ね、今日の議題は何なんだ？
そんなものは決まっている。今日の議題は
What?
議題は
岡部？
Something was wrong.
オカリン
Oh god, we're freaking changing colors again. Everything seemed the same, but
どうしたんオカリン
that's right. It was cold.
京馬
I didn't feel it.
京馬さん。
No emotions.
岡部倫太郎
No warmth.
岡部くん。
Everyone was here. But it was cold and dark. Cold. Cold.
岡部くん。
Cold, 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 cold. I'm going with that.
岡部倫太郎
It was so cold it felt like the marrow of my bones was going to freeze.
京馬さん。
Like my bones were made of ice. Like all the blood in my body had been replaced with mercury.
オカリン
It was cold. It felt like I was going to freeze at any moment. What was this?
オカリン
Where was this place? Where was I?
岡部。
I... Oh? Where was I? Whose ceiling is this? What was I doing? We've been kidnapped? I tried to speak, but the words didn't come out. It looked like I was lying on a bed, and a very hard one at that. I slowly looked around. It wasn't the lab, and it wasn't my room. The room was old and gloomy. Of course, I'd never seen it before. What was I doing here? There was a terrible pain in my head, like someone had jammed an electrode into my brain. I love that he's saying that now. I tried to raise my hand as I lay there, but it was too heavy. It was like all the joints in my body had frozen. It took all my strength to slowly sit up. Each time I moved a little, my muscles screamed and pain ran through my body. After several minutes, I finally succeeded in sitting on the edge of the bed and looking down. I realized I was wearing a white gown, like hospital patients wear. Oh good. There was some kind of equipment on my head, and the cables coming out of it were connected to a strange machine. What had happened to me? Just a moment ago, I was... That's right. Kagari. Risu's memories had been downloaded into Kagari's head. We tried to erase them by overwriting them with Kagari's own memories. And then... That's right, I remembered now. The world line had shifted right after that. What had happened then? I'm so happy that after all that silence, we've got really spooky music. I tried to remember, but it was like my mind was filled with fog. For now, I needed to figure out where I was. I took off the headgear and got out of bed. We still have that knife wound, I assume? And collapsed. This didn't make sense. Was I just dizzy after all that was going on in my head? I tried to stand up again. And I couldn't get any strength in my legs. I kept standing up and falling over. And in the end, I was only able to get up by grabbing the side of the bed. How could standing on my own 2 feet be so exhausting? Was I sick with some terrible disease? And then maybe I'd been in bed for several days? Oh, that's a ominous angle. I somehow managed to drag my weak legs to the door. It was bizarrely heavy. Or maybe it just seemed that way to me. It only opened after I put my full weight on it. The door was locked, but it seemed to be the kind that could open from the inside. I don't like what this is reminding me of. I walked down the dark hallway, leaning up against the wall for support. At the end of the hall were stairs. I clung to the railing and slowly walked up them. At the end of the stairs, I found a hatch. Using the full strength of my back, I was just barely able to get it open. I was inside an old building. I walked down the crumbling hallway, still clueless as to what was going on, and finally found the door to the outside. I think the underground hallways just made me think of, is it like... I think it was Chaos Child that had the secret, like, underground place where they were doing experiments on people, or on children, like, under the hospital. It reminded me slightly of that. Exhausted, I staggered outside. And I saw... Oh! Are we in World War III? Mountains of shattered rubble.
なんだこれ
Oh god, we're in a freaking SMT game now. That was your thought as well? Oh, that's real bad. Rows of destroyed, abandoned buildings. Damn. Exposed, twisted steel girders. At first I thought it was a movie set. It looks really cool. But it was all far too realistic for that. The walls, the windows, the ceilings, everything was destroyed. Little bits of rubble covered the ground. There were cracks in the asphalt on the road, making it impossible to walk straight. I love, like, the particle effects for the dust and stuff, too. And it wasn't just directly in front of me. I spun around a full 360 degrees and saw the same scene everywhere. I smelled oil. I smelled something burning. I looked up to the sky. It was dark and gloomy. I thought it might just be cloudy, but something else seemed to be going on. I could see the hazy outline of the sun beyond the black curtain that covered the sky. A violent pain in my throat made me cough. I quickly covered my mouth with the sleeve of my gown. My eyes stung. I tried once more to calm down and see if I could remember what happened, but I had no luck. All I knew for sure was that there had been a world line shift when I deleted Karisu's memories from inside Kagari. Did we actually give Kagari her memories back? Or did we freaking, like, give her Hitler's memories? Like, what? What just happened? Or, I mean, I guess World War III was gonna happen anyway, but, like, what the hell, bruh? Did we give her somebody else's? Allegedly, they were in the, I guess the Amadeus, files, which we hacked into. Which I feel like is just really lucky. But I guess it makes sense, because it was Stratfor that stole Amadeus and was trying to do more experiments. And who had also stole, Kagari, but could have been really messed up if they didn't actually have them. The memories held by the Amadeus Kurisu. And the memories implanted in Kagari. Maybe when whoever owned them changed, that is, whoever held Kurisu's time machine theory, the world line changed with it. And this was another altered world line. Well, something freaking happened. Which meant what I was seeing was... I saw what looked like an ash-covered stick poking out of the ground in the corner of my eye. I slowly went to take a closer look. It was sticking out of the rubble, and at the tip it split into 5 smaller branches. It was a hand. It was a human hand that had been scorched pitch black. A terrible feeling came rising up out of my stomach. Suddenly, I thought I saw something move. Someone was there. Where? I listened carefully to try and pick them out. The other side of that big building. I could hear some kind of sound from over there. Was someone there? If there was, maybe they could tell me what the hell was going on. Trying my best not to make any sound, I peeked through the walls of the crumbling building. They were there all right. There were people there. Lots of them. But they weren't people anymore. They were just human-shaped wads of meat, piled up into a mountain. And on top of that mountain was a pack of dogs. Something long and slick was hanging out of the dogs' mouths. Intestines. They were eating them. They were eating the bodies. The stench was horrible. The sound of the flies was overwhelming. Me when I step outside. Screams. It was like something out of hell. My gaze met the vacant eyes of one of the bodies. One of its eyes fell out, and black insects crawled out of the empty socket. Oh, nice. Love that. I ran away. I ran as fast as I could, stumbling forward on falling legs. Somewhere. Was there somewhere around here that was sane? But no matter how far I went, it was the same thing. Mountains of rubble. Rows of abandoned buildings. All I could see were the dead. There were no living humans. Are you sure this is Steins Gate? Yep. What I want to know is... like, I assume we haven't, like, gone into the future. I assume we're, like, still, you know... How am I trying to speak right now? What do I mean? I guess you know, like, this was supposed to be Suzuha and Kagari's future, right? But did whatever we just do frick up this world line so bad that instead of it being a gradual thing that's gonna happen in the future, yeah, like, exactly, that it started way earlier and it started now? I'm assuming that's what happened. But if that's the case, then how into it are we, I wonder? Like, is there already gonna be a resistance, or are we just freaking doomed? Then I found it. There were rows of huge buildings, which all looked as if they were about to fall over. The roads were full of cracks. There was a warped overpass sticking out of the ground. A few rows of iron and railroad ties. I knew it. I knew this place. It was only a shadow of its former self, but I knew it. This was Akihabara, which meant...
ラボはどうなった
Where was Mayuri? Where was Daru? Where was Ferris? What about Lukaku or Suzuha? What happened to Maho and Kagari? Just as I ran toward the lab to find out, I heard footsteps behind me. Rough footsteps, stomping over the rubble, more than one set. They got louder and louder, and soon I saw them coming towards me, from between the crumbling buildings. There were 3 of them. They each had assault rifles in their hands. When they saw me, they all pointed their guns at me. There was so much I wanted to ask them. There were things I wanted to know. But the only thought that came to me was that I needed to get away. But even as I tried to turn and run, my body refused to listen. They must have sensed that I was about to flee, because one of them yelled. Yep. Holes appeared in the concrete at my feet. They'd shot at me. They really shot at me. They'd shot at me with real guns. Bro, you've been shot at before! Like, many times! At this point. If I had been just a little closer, they would have hit me. Then again, I'll cut him some slack because this is a lot to take in. This is way more than the guns, actually. I was too scared to stand. The men got closer, still holding the guns. Run. You have to run. But it was like my body belonged to someone else. It wasn't listening to me. The men kept getting closer. And then... there was another sharp noise. One of the men collapsed to the side. He hit his head on the rubble and stopped moving. Someone's got a silencer. The other 2 waved their guns around, clearly confused as to what just happened. Something dragged me to the ground. And then more gunshots. The 2 of them fell backwards, still holding their weapons, at almost the exact same time. They died. Right in front of me. Someone had died. I could do nothing more than sit there and watch as the silhouette moved in front of me. Hey girl. I looked up. And the person I saw was... That's my homie! Suzuha. She was built for this.
お前殺したのか。
何を生っちょろいこと言ってるんだ、お前。
It was a colder voice than I'd ever heard.
お前鈴葉だよな。
Her iron mask of an expression suddenly changed to surprise. But that was only for a moment. A second later, and the fierceness had returned.
お前、何者だ？
Did she really not?
俺のこと知らないのか。
Interesting. Did the change in the world line mean that Suzuha and I had never met?
岡部だよ。岡部倫太郎だ。
The expression on her face changed again.
岡部倫太郎？そんなバカな。
Impossible, why? Two pairs of icy footsteps sounded in the darkness.
こっちだ。
After I'd given my name, Suzuha had stared at me suspiciously for a moment. Then she'd made some kind of call and told me to come with her. She'd made me wear a blindfold almost the entire time, though. So I had no idea which way I'd gone or where I was.
止まれ。
I did as she said. When I heard the knock, I finally realized we were in front of a door.
君に萌え萌え。
Daru!
バッキュンキュン。
They're so stupid. Insane. Insane! I get it, but insane use of a password. Evidently, that was the password. I can only think of one man who'd choose such a stupid password. I heard the sound of a heavily locked door opening, and at last I saw a dimly lit room in the darkness. The room was piled high with what looked like mechanical junk. Rows of instruments lined the walls. A man was sitting in front of them, looking straight at me.
よかった。やっと目を覚ましたんだな、オカリン。
Who was this guy? How did he know my name? Is he? He must have been in his Oh shit! His mid-40s? He was a big, broad-shouldered man with a stubbly face. Did he lose weight? There was a sharp but gentle light in his eyes. I felt like I'd seen him somewhere before.
あなたは。やだな。僕のこと忘れたん？そりゃいくらなんでも
Oh
冷た
my
いぜ。
god! That's crazy! Holy shit! The way he talked. And that voice. So we must have gone to the future then. I guess? There was only one person it could be. But that was...
まさか。誰か。
The man's face broke into a broad smile.
よかった。覚えててくれて。てっきり忘れられたのかと思ったのだぜ。
Oh, this is so cool.
誰？本当に誰なのか。こんなナイスガイ、僕以外にいるわけないじゃん。な、鈴葉。
せめてもうちょっと痩せてくれれば認めなくもないけど。
I must admit that if you lost, bro, he did though. He and gained muscle or something. Like, goddamn.
そう言うなって。これでも若い頃に比べれば随分と痩せたんだぜ。
Yeah. I'm impressed. Bro locked in. Indeed, the Daru in front of me was quite a bit slimmer than the Daru I knew.
というか父さん、少し言葉遣いおかしくない？
僕も久々にこういう話し方したよ。でも、オカリンはこの方が話しやすいだろうと思ってさ。
The more pressing issue, though, was his age. He was clearly a middle-aged man. The youngest I could possibly imagine him to be was his early 40s. And then I saw a shelf in the corner. I saw a man I didn't know reflected in its glass. Wait! Oh my god! It was another man like him, in his 40s. Oh shit, we're old too! How long have we been asleep? He was staring at me with a gloomy, sunken face. I slowly raised my right hand, and the man raised his left as if copying me.
ダル一つ教えてくれ。何でもどうぞ。今は何年だ。
Daru's smile quickly became something more serious as he answered me.
2036年、世界は戦乱の真っ只中だ。
We're not supposed to be alive! Holy shit! Daru gave me all the details.
それじゃあ、本当に今は2036年なのか。そういうこと。
It seemed unbelievable. But Daru's appearance, and more than anything my own, made it undeniable. 2036. Suzuha had said that World War III would start sometime in the next 10 years. 5.7 billion people would die, and the population of Tokyo would drop to a tenth of what it once was. Do I have my phone? No, I don't. After that, the Third World War itself would end, but the chaos would continue, and even in Japan, no, everywhere around the world, battles would continue. Is that what I'd just seen?
だが、どうして俺はそのことを何も覚えていないんだ。
All my memories were of 2011. I had no memories of the past 25 years. My last memory was of erasing Kurisu's memories from Kagari's head.
それに、俺は2025年に死ぬと鈴葉から聞かされていた。どうして生きているんだ。
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
それは私も聞きたい、父さん。
Oh shit. Suzuha chimed in. I want to see what he looks like. Because we didn't get to see in Steins Gate when he sends like the video for the true ending. He's like in the dark or like away from the camera.
私たちはみんな
So we don't get to see him older.
10年前に死んだって聞かされてきたんだ。
Interesting. So everyone except for Daru. I want to say maybe Mayuri, but I also feel like Mayuri would let that slip up. I don't know. Maybe war has changed her. Suzuha leaned over him.
父さん、これはどういうこと？もしかして私たちを騙してたのか？
落ち着け鈴葉。ちゃんと説明するから。
I assume for protection, maybe? Or did he straight up just not know if he was gonna live, I wonder? Daru looked at me as if he was remembering old times, and then resumed his explanation.
オカリンは2011年の1月半ばまでの記憶しかないってことで OK？ ああ。2011年の1月に世界線が変動した。それ以降のことは覚えていない。
I'd gotten 25 years older without realizing it. That fact was starting to eat away at me.
やっぱ体の方に少し問題があるのか、それとも混乱してるのか。今のオカリンの頭の中には2011年の1月末までの記憶がなきゃいけないんだけど。末？どうして1月末なんだ？ マホタンがオカリンの記憶をデータとして保存したのが2011年1月末のことだからさ。
Interesting. Yajo saved my memories? Yeah, that tracks. That tracks is something that they would do.
アマデウスの研究の役に立ちたいから記憶サンプルを取ってくれってオカリンからマホタンに頼んだらしいじゃん。
俺がアマデウスの
And then I realized something incredible.
ということは、もしかして今の俺の脳の中は。
そう、お察しの通り、今のオカリンの脳内にある記憶はその時の2011年にデータ化された記憶なんだ。
Interesting. Digitized memories. Inside my head.
ちょっと待って父さん、話が全く見えない。そもそもどうしてオカリンおじさんが生きてるの？おじさんは2025年に死んだって言ってただろ？
死んだよ、事実上はね。
事実上？
タイムマシン開発競争はその頃がピークだったんだ。各国のいろんな機関がマキセ・クリスが残した論文と彼女の記憶を欲していた。でもその時点でマキセ・クリスの遺産は全部ストラト4の手に渡ってたんだよね。
Stratfor.
ただ連中をもってしても論文の中身を確かめることはどうしてもできなかった。ロックを解除できなかったんでね。ちなみにそのロックを開発したのは2010年の僕。
Hell yeah, Daru.
そこでストラト4はマキセ・クリスをよく知る人物を捕まえて情報を聞き出そうとしたんだ。
それが俺か。
連中はオカリンの記憶からマキセ・クリスについての情報を取り出すためにあらゆる手を使ったらしい。僕たちが助け出した時にはオカリンの精神はボロボロだった。まともに生きるための能力さえ失ってた。
Oh.
回復する見込みのない死んだのとほぼ変わらない状態だったんだ。
それじゃあ
So that's why they gave him the
肉体は生
memories.
きていたってこと？
そういうこと。これはオカリン自身の入れ知恵でもあった。オカリンは自分が狙われてることに危機感を覚えてたからね。
でもせめて私にくらいは教えてくれてもよかったはずだ。
敵を騙すにはまず味方からって言うだろ。
そんな。
Suzuha seemed a little depressed. It must have come as a shock for her, or a shock that her dad didn't trust her.
そんな顔するな、鈴葉。このことを知ってたのはワルキューレの中でもごく限られた一部の人間だけだ。
I knew the name Valkyrie. Suzuha had talked about it a lot in 2010. It was the name of Daru and Suzuha's resistance organization, an armed group of irregular fighters who oppose a government or the members of that group. The difference between a resistance fighter and a terrorist is a very slim one.
話を続けよう。オカリンは心を破壊されたせいで生きるための能力を失っていた。放っておいたら肉体さえ死んでしまう状態だった。そこで事実を知る一部の人間の手によってこことは別の施設でずっと面倒を見てきたんだ。
Okay. I was gonna say, for a second there, I was like, yeah, that's weird he's in another place, but if people were still keeping an eye on him, then fair enough. From 2025 to 2036, 11 years without letting anyone find out. You needed nutrients to keep your body alive, and since I was in bed the whole time, my joints would have gotten stiff, and friction against the bed would have caused my skin to split open. Someone had watched over me the whole time to keep that from happening.
もしかしてマユリが。
マユシだけじゃない。フェイリスタンやルカシ、それにマホタンもだ。
Freaking cries, just weeps. They were alive. Mayuri, Ferris, and Lukaku. Even in this terrifying world, they were still alive and still looking after me. And we adopted Maho. I'm okay with that. I like her. They had been for years.
なあ、誰？
Well, I guess they did. We weren't conscious for that.
どうして俺は
But I'm glad.
今になって目を覚ましたんだろうか。
My memories had been digitized in 2011. If they'd known those memories existed, they could have downloaded them into me a lot earlier, right?
それは単純な話さ。オカリンの記憶データはつい最近までどこにあるかわからなかったんだよね。
Oh.
つうか、オカリンとマキセ・クリスの記憶データはストラト4がずっと保管してたんだけど。
Ah, okay. So they knew the memories existed, they just didn't have them.
その保管場所がずっとわからなかったわけ。見つけたのは半月前。どこにあったと思う？驚くぜ。
どこだ？
東大元暮らし。大学だよ、僕たちの。
Interesting.
まさか東京電機大学か？
その地下に連中の支部があったんだよ。つっても今はほとんど廃墟になってるけどな。
Stratford had a base in the basement of Tokyo Denki?
で、半月前にオカリンの記憶データをサルベージした僕たちは早速脳にデータをダウンロードした。
But for the next 10 days, I hadn't woken up. Well, I imagine it's kind of the same thing as like a coma patient. And just as they were about to give up, I'd finally awoken. After 25 years. 25 years. I stared at my hands. They were so thin, I could almost see the bone, and I could see veins popping out of them. The face reflected in the glass was unhealthy and wrinkled. My hair was starting to turn white, too.
起きたら25年後だったなんて。とんだ浦島太郎だな。
気持ちの整理がつかないのも無理ないさ。
Yeah, this is so cool. Of course it was a shock. But the most shocking thing was...
この記憶は一度データになったものなんだな。
my memories since I was a kid. My memories of that summer. So what happened to Kagari then, I wonder? My memories with Kurisu. All of them had been transformed into zeros and ones. She's the only one they haven't mentioned. Could you still say that I was a person? Could I still be called human?
でもそれを言うなら、マキセ氏のタイムリープマシン技術だって同じじゃん。オカリンはあれ、何度も経験したはずっしょ。
Yeah. He was right. But even if I knew it in my head, it still felt strange. I'd been cut off from 25 years of time. It had all been forgotten and left behind in a digital world. It felt like it had been stolen from me.
私はやっぱり納得いかない。
そう言うなって鈴葉。
父さんはいい。そうやって世界中を騙していたんだから。
だから仕方なかったんだってば。
Deceived, huh? I'd been deceived too. I'd been told I was fated to die in 2025. And that even in the beta world line, that wouldn't change. But no matter how it had happened, I was alive right now. Even in the past, I'd been deceived by the future. And it wasn't just me. Suzuha and everyone else. The whole world had been deceived.
世界が騙される。
And then there was a knock on the outside of the door. There was a visitor, it seemed. Suzuha got close to the door.
君に萌え萌え。
Bro, they gotta stop that shit.
バッキュンキュン
Oh my god, it's baby. It's Kagari. After hearing the world's most ridiculous password, Suzuha unlocked the door. It opened and a young girl came in.
太郎おじちゃん鈴葉お姉ちゃんトゥットゥルー
Oh, second Tuturu. She's so cute.
かがり、ここには用があるとき以外は来るなと言ってるだろう。
Kagari. This child was a young Kagari?
ごめんなさいでもママたちみんな出かけて帰ってこないんだもん
まあまあ、そう目くじら立てることもないだろ
また父さんはそうやって甘やかす。こういうことはきちんとしておかなきゃダメなんだ。
The way they interacted hadn't changed in 25 years. I ignored them and looked at Kagari. And she seemed to notice me, too.
こんにちは
う。こんにちは。
おじさんは誰
She's so baby and cute. Look at her.
俺か俺は。
ん
そうだな。君のママの友達だ。
I hesitated for a moment, but decided not to give her my name.
まゆりママの
ああ、そうだ。
へえ
ママは優しいか？ママのこと好きか？
大好き
そうか。
I could see the love she felt for her mother radiating from her face. Mayuri must have raised her with a lot of love, too. She'd been raised with everything Mayuri could give her. But after this, she was going to go to the past. She would be all alone in the past, separated from her beloved Mayuri. And then they would catch her and use her as a test subject.
そういえば父さん、まゆ姉さんには伝えたのか？おじさんが目覚めたこと。
あ、いかん。すっかり忘れてた。早く教えてやらんと。
He took out what looked like a small wireless radio.
こちら、バレルタイター。応答せよ。こちら、バレルタイター。
こちら、スターダストシェイクハンドです。
That's so precious. The voice I heard from the speaker was definitely Mayuri's. It felt a lot calmer than what I was used to, but it was definitely Mayuri. Wait, what was Stardust Handshake? Her code name, obviously!
ああ、かがりちゃん。誰おじさんのところにいるの？おじさんは大事なお仕事があるから。
Please, I need her to show up. I want to see her. I want to see her so bad.
はーい
そんなことよりまゆし、スペシャルなニュースだ。
スペシャルなニュース？
ああ、心して聞いてくれ。オカリンが目覚めた。
Bro should have told her to sit down.
本当にオカリンが？
Oh.
どうしたの？まゆし。オカリンが。もしかして岡部さん、目を覚ましたんですか？本当？オカリン、起きたのにゃ？
She's still doing that! I heard one voice I knew after another coming from the radio. Not even World War III can stop the Nyaz. That's Dedication. The voices didn't seem to have changed all that much.
そういうわけで3人ともすぐに戻ってきた方がいい。
Oh.
まゆし、どうしたまゆし。
ダメ。マユシーは嬉しさのあまり涙ぐんで声も出ないみたい。
まあ無理もないよな。オカリンの復活を一番望んでたのはまゆしなんだからさ。
Mayuri.
とにかくみんな早く戻った方がいい。
わかった。食料を受け取ったらすぐに戻るわ。
Everyone else was overjoyed, but I saw that Suzuha's expression was clouded.
どうした鈴葉。
なんでまゆ姉さんたち食料調達に出ている？今日は予定になかったはずだ。
え？
そんなはずない。確かに今日だって昨日の夜遅くに連絡が。
That can't be good.
まずい、それは罠だ。みんなすぐに戻って。
A scream from the speaker cut her off.
どうした？何があった？
襲撃です。敵襲だ。
I swear to God!
くそ。
マイルちゃん、ウィリス、逃げて。ここは僕が。でもそんなことしたらルカニャンが。ルカなら大丈夫ですから。早く。ダメ、ルカ君。ルカニャン。
父さん。
Suzuha started running and Daru followed after.
待ってくれダル。俺も行く。
Bro, we can't move!
でもオカリンその体じゃ。
行かせてくれ頼む。
We'll just cause more problems. He hesitated for a moment, but then quickly nodded and offered me his shoulder. He was a little thinner than when he was young, but his shoulder was still gigantic. I put my weight on it as we followed Suzuha. They better be okay. When we finally got there, I saw several silhouettes. I'd been mentally preparing myself for a fierce battle. The whole place was dead quiet. There were several men dressed like soldiers lying on the ground nearby. In front of them was Suzuha. Kneeling next to her were two women. And at their feet,
ルカ子。
I could tell at a glance. The person lying there was Lukaku.
おかり。
The two women looked up at me.
おかり。ルカニャンが。ルカニャンが。
Mayuri and Ferris both seemed beaten down by the passage of time.
岡部さん。
His features had grown more gallant, but his face was still soft and feminine. Lukaku looked at me with hazy eyes.
ルカ子。
本当に岡部さんなんですか？
あ、ルカ子。俺だ。
その呼び方、大物の岡部さん。
A single trail of blood dripped from Lukaku's mouth. His outfit was stained with blood over his right breast, and the blood dripped over onto the ground. I knew immediately that the wound was fatal.
よかった。さっきの話は嘘じゃなかったんですね。
ああ、お前たちのおかげでこうして目覚めることができた。ありがとう。
Lukaku's hand reached up towards the sky, as if he was looking for something. Maybe he couldn't even see me anymore. When I grabbed his hand, it was very cold. Yeah. I'm currently recording, like what we talked about yesterday. So, since I'm doing that, I will attempt to just upload it right after the stream. Which, if it was anything like yesterday's, didn't take that long to upload. So, we'll see. Hopefully it might be up for tomorrow. If not, Tuesday for sure. But, enjoy the rest of your night and get some good sleep. I will, stay here in my depression! But thanks for hanging out, Marlon. I can't believe we woke up just in time for Luca to die in our arms. This shit is diabolical.
どうした？
僕、やりました。
あ、
Can't have shit in this house.
京馬さんに教えてもらった精神ザマ流の心へのおかげで今までまゆりちゃんやみんなを守ってこられました。
あ、
僕仲間になれましたよね。皆さんの本当の仲間になれましたよね。
Bro, you have been for 25 years!
バカ！お前は最初からずっと俺たちの仲間だ。
Exactly! Exactly, bro! Lukaku reached out a cold hand and touched my cheek, and smiled a dazzling smile.
嬉しいな。
That was all he said. And then, the touch on my cheek disappeared.
ルカ子。ルカ子。
ルカ
Bro, Mayuri and Ferris can't even be happy now that he's back because they just immediately lose Luca. This shit sucks so bad. It's awful when the second most pure-hearted dies. Luca is too good of a person. Right, Joe, this... Why? Why'd the wound have to be fatal, bro? Why couldn't it just be like the leg? Cut that shit off, it'll be fine. I hate it here. I hate World War III. Get me out of here, man. I want to go back. Take me back to January. Shit sucks. Cold hand fell to the rubble-covered ground. We need to get Luca to a future that is like just chill. And then bro can be like, instead of experiencing World War III, bro could just experience the world becoming more progressive and be like, oh, it is okay to like guys, you know? We need that future for Luca. Like, this shit sucks. And never moved again.
なんてことだ。
よかった。ルカ君はオカリンとずっと会いたがっていたから。最後に会えたのは
Yeah,
本当によかった。
I guess there is that. I suppose there was a chance that they could have went out and Okabe may, you know, if he had woken up, say, tomorrow. Still, shit's cruel. Glad? She was glad? After this? Mayuri's words made me realize how hellish the last 25 years I'd slept through must have been.
漆原ルカ、あなたはとても立派に戦いました。私たちはあなたに救われました。どうか安らかに。
こんなのあんまりだろ。まゆしは
泣き疲れて眠ったよ。
無理もないよな。まゆしはルカシとずっと仲良かったから。
ルカ兄さん。
Lukaku was dead. He died protecting Mayuri and Ferris. In my mind, his death overlapped with Mayuri's. Mayuri's hands got colder, and so did Lukaku's. It was the same no matter where I went. Mayuri, Lukaku, and Kurisu. Everyone dies.
あの戦争をきっかけにたくさんの人間が死んだ。
She really just lost one best friend and got another best friend back. Also, the freaking voice actors. I mean, they always kill it, but like, my god. I don't know how they do it, man. Those screams are like, oh, intense.
小学校の友達も中学高校の友達も大学の友達も親戚も先生も知り合いも大人も子供もそれから大切な人もたくさんの本当にたくさんの人間が死んだんだ。
I knew this was coming. At least I thought I knew. If I didn't reach Steins Gate, if I stayed in the Beta world line, the world would eventually burn. I'd heard it 1,000 times. And I thought I knew what the future would be like. But in the end, it was just a story about the distant future. It didn't feel real at all. I could only imagine it. All I had were vague, unrealistic ideas. All the thousands of nightmares I'd experienced. I'd thought nothing could be worse than that. Dude. They gotta stop showing me this, because it's so cool. It just makes me want to go play a Shin Megami Tensei game. Like... And I've not been playing any games outside of streaming. Like, I've been playing Repo on Mondays, but that's about it, because I've just been so tired from work and life. But this just makes me want to, like, go put on Nocturne or something. Because it's just, like, the freaking post-apocalyptic Japan. It's like, yeah. It's just SMT to its core. Surely I'll do some gaming this week, my god. I need to. It's just hard. I don't know. The most I've been doing now is the streams. It's like I want to, but I'm just so tired. And it's just easier sometimes to just put on a show. Which it really shouldn't be, but like, I don't know. I need more time in the day. When I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears, and felt it with my own skin, I realized that everything I'd thought was wrong. I also need more energy. Piles of bodies. Wild dogs devouring human corpses. Dead soldiers. The smell of burning flesh. The smell of rotting organs. Oh my god. Oregon. The warmth of Lukaku's blood in my hands. The warmth of Mayuri's blood. The warmth of Kurisu's blood. I thought that if nothing else, I'd managed to save Mayuri. I'd let Kurisu die, turned my eyes away from reality, and told myself that at least I'd saved Mayuri and the others. And in the end, I hadn't saved anyone. Even if I had, I'd only saved myself. I was the only person I'd managed to save. Okay, but did you... Did you, though? I mean, I guess we're alive. I guess that counts. I don't know if we're... Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll give it to him. I was gonna be like... At first, I wasn't sure. Because all the trauma and guilt, I feel like he's not saved. But on a level, he's saved, I suppose, because he managed to actually live. Hidden. No one else. Not Kurisu. Not Mayuri. Not Kagari. Not Lukaku. I hadn't saved anyone.
クリスをアマデウスの呪縛から解放してやってくれ。
あ
伝言2025年のオカリンから俺の伝言シュタインズゲート世界線への道は険しい。一度や二度やり直したところでたどり着ける道ではないだろう。けれどまずはそこから始めることがシュタインズゲートへとつながるんじゃないか。
Hold on. What did he say? Release Kurisu from the bonds of Amadeus. Interesting.
いくつもの未来の先が過去へとつながっているんじゃないか。
I just wanted to make sure I read that correctly.
11年前オカリンはそう言ってた。
クリスを解放。
だからさ、僕たちがいるこの世界も無駄じゃない。きっと必要な世界なんだ。少なくとも今の僕はそう思ってる。
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's right.
もちろん。だからってこのままでいいってわけじゃない。
誰？
Both can be true.
だからさ、オカリン。もう一度戻って考えてみてもいいんじゃね？オカリンの記憶の途切れたその時間にさ。
2011年にか。でもそんなこと。
I could see my aged body in the glass.
第一、この姿のまま戻ったところで俺に何ができる？
できるわ。
Do we not have Maho? Do we have Amadeus Maho? I heard a voice I recognized from the radio.
久しぶりね、岡部さん。11年ぶりかしら。
Or I guess, never mind, she's just on the radio.
ひよじょうさんか。
Where are you?
部屋の奥を見なさい。
As if he'd known what she was going to say, Daru had moved to a spot in the back of the room where the lights didn't reach. Suddenly, it got brighter and I saw...
電話レンチかっこかり。
Oh, she made one.
あなたや橋田さんから話を聞いて私が作ったものよ。 ほら、ちゃんと VR ヘッドも用意してあるでしょ。
Well, shit.
こんなこともあろうかとリフターも用意してある。
Daru went on to explain that for the last 11 years, he'd maintained an environment where I could receive the time leap, even in a coma. That made sense. Even if I was in a coma, as long as they put the receiver up to my head, it would still function. Mayuri and the others had taken care of my body since 2025. So Daru and Maho had known that this day would come 11 years ago? Or maybe I told them so back in 2025.
改良を重ねた結果、跳躍可能時間は336時間。一度の跳躍で1週間は遡ることが可能よ。
336時間。2週間か。
ただし、それも途中まで。マシンを改良してそれが可能になったのは10年ほど前だから、それ以前は前と変わらず48時間しか跳躍できない。
In other words, if I wanted to go back to the end of January 2011, I'd need about 3,000 time leaps.
とてつもなく辛い旅になるわ。それでも戻る気があるのなら。
That's insane. Almost 3,000 time leaps. Was I really capable of something like that anymore?
しんどくなったら途中で休めばいい。
ダル。
大丈夫よ。どの時間にたどり着いても必ず私たちがいるから。
Man!
野鳥さん。
So glad we adopted her.
私ね、後悔しているの。アマデウスのせいで、あの子は死んでもなお多くのよこしまな人々に利用されようとしていた。何年も何十年も。だから私からもお願い。あの子を、クリスを醜い欲望の渦から解放してあげて。クリスを救ってあげて。それができるのは岡部さん、あなただけよ。
That really hits, dude. Like, I don't think I ever like fully thought about it, but hearing them talk about it now, it's like, yeah, freaking, 25 years of the bad guys and God knows who else all trying to get to Amadeus, to get to Kurisu. Like, that's crazy. Like, even in death, she doesn't get to rest. I didn't know if I could do it anymore. There was no guarantee that the path I was about to travel would ever lead to Steins Gate. And they had already started trying to put her and other people back in 2011. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one thing to be fighting over, her papers and stuff, but like, this is way more intense. Especially with, that they can, I mean, even, like, if they were able to I mean, they kind of did. It was working, to an extent, with Kagari. Like, in a way. I would say it's, like, somewhat of it's definitely a win to some extent for them, I would think. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but I feel like even with World War III, like, I can only imagine how much better they would be at doing that by now. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, clearly, with Ocarine, like, you can see it. So, God, that's even horrifying to think about. Like, just, you know, if we have, you know, they were just attacking, you know, they just led them out, to attack them. Like, I can only imagine, freaking Stratfor or whoever, like, grabbing random people who somehow survived and, you know, keeping them, like, caged up and just, like, trying to put Karisu's memories in them. You know? Just doing that more and more to see, to make it work, and then to see if they can get the information out of said person. And shit like that. Like a whole different type of torture. But even so.
もう一度考えるか。
What could I do? What should I do?
二人とも頼む。オキドキ。
As soon as the words were out of his mouth, he started getting ready.
岡部さん、もしも次にクリスに会えたら言ってやって。未来の私はあなたの7倍もの時間跳躍を可能にしたわよって。
わかった。
If I ever saw Karisu.
オカリン、こっちの準備は OK だ。
早いな。
メンテは怠ってないからね。
さすがだな。
まあな。
The phone wave and the VR headset. They looked a little different than what I'd seen in the old lab, but they were still our future gadgets.
あ、でも、まゆ姉さんたちとは話さなくていいの？
今飛ばないと決心が鈍りそうだ。
Yeah, that makes sense. They also don't want me to see my Yuri because they hate me! And she would be too pretty and too cute!
それに
Because she's a mom!
今会えなくても
It would be too
いく
wholesome!
らだって会えるさ。過去の世界で
We're not allowed, we only get Daru. Which, to be fair, was awesome, so I can't complain, but like, damn!
そうだな。
Oh my god, Red. That's my job. Stop that. Don't do that. My toe is so bad. I am like limping. It's not good over here. But stop that. No bleeding. Daru smiled as I took the VR headset out of his hand and put it on my head. Dude, Daru did have the glow up of the century. I'm so impressed.
2週間前でな。
I'm proud of him.
ああ、2週間前で。
しっかりね。
I'm gonna miss him. We're gonna go back and I'm just gonna be like, bro, what happened? And then I jump back into the past once more. I can't believe we have to do this 3,000 times. It took a long, long time. The journey was unimaginably long. That's crazy. Damn. Where the frick are we? I looked at the phone I was holding in my hand. Oh shit, the 31st? Okay. Can I take a peek? When did I save? Does it say? No. No, it doesn't. Oh, no, it does! So... Interesting. So the last time... It was the 15th? When everything went down? before we freaking, blew up the planet, so to speak. And now we're finally back. And it's the 31st. Okay. Got it. No doubt about it. I was back. I'd finally made it back. I'd gone back through so many years. I'd done thousands of time leaps. Gone through the war. I'd almost died. I thought of giving up a bunch of times, but each time I'd remembered it all. That ruined world. The piles of corpses. The screams. The shouting. The dripping blood. And Daru and Maho, and how they'd sent me off. After a long, unimaginably long time, I'd finally made it back to this time.
オカリン、何か良くない知らせでもあったの？
Yeah, you could say that. So I wonder what happened to Kagari then?
電話に出てからなんだかぼーっとしてるから。
いや、そうじゃない。
Guess we'll find out.
そういうわけじゃないんだ。
Mayuri was here.
もしかしてまだお正月の気分が抜けないのかにゃ？
Ferris was here.
しっかりしてくれよな。
And Daru. And Lukako. And Suzuha. And...
ん？
Hey, are you okay? You good? Maho and Kagari were here too. How you doing? I'm not gonna lie, you make an adorable child. No offense to you being older here, but very cute kid.
もしかしてこの前の疲れが出ちゃったかしら？
この前。
What we do earlier?
ほら、この前アマデウスのサンプル用に記憶データを取ったでしょ？
I'm stupid. Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen. They told me about that. Okay, so today's the day that we take the samples. TM. Oh right. Daru had mentioned that. He said it was at the end of
い
January.
や、そうじゃないんだ。ちょっと、な。かがり。
ん？なに？オカリンさん。
Okay, that's promising. That seems good.
この時代に来てからの記憶は、まだ思い出せないのか。
Oh,
そうか。
interesting.
どうしたの？いきなり。
So, what did the memories do? Just get rid of Karisu's?
なんでもない。ただ少し確かめただけだ。
Or have they just not come back yet? I wonder.
何それ？変なオカリンさん。
Ah, he's always weird. Don't worry about it. Since I'd come from the future, I knew. In this world line, Karisu's memories no longer existed inside Kagari's head.
でも私ね、別にこのままでもいいかなって思ってるんだ。
Well, that's good.
だってここにはママもいるし、ルカ君やルミお姉ちゃんもいるし、食べ物だっていっぱいあるし、無理に思い出す必要もないんじゃないかって。
We do like lots of food. Can confirm.
そうか。
I have 3 slices of pie downstairs and I can't wait to eat them. One of them will be my supper. That's for sure. Maybe that was fine for now. But the future was going to be filled with sorrow. For Mayuri. For Ferris. For Lukako. For Daru. For Suzuha. For Kagari. And for Maho. Did I really make the right choice when I decided to let Kurisu die? No! That's why we gotta get to the true ending. But to be honest, so much has happened that I'm like, what the hell happens when you just don't answer the phone with Kagari there? What? I mean, we'll find out someday, but you know? After everyone had left, and I was all alone, all the exhaustion came crashing down on me. I time leaped 3,000 times. I thought I'd be able to work things out in my head along the way, but I'd been so desperate to return to the past that I hadn't had time. My mind was worn down after all the time leaps. Girl, what do you want? Get up here and I'll pet you. Don't just be yelling. It's stream time. I thought I'd made my decision, but I found myself wavering again and again. I'd only managed to do it by telling myself that I had to get back before I could make any decisions. And now my head just felt so tired. And what should I do now? What should I do? For now, I didn't want to think about anything. But I felt too awake to even sleep. With everyone gone, the temperature in the lab quickly dropped. It was freezing. But it was nothing compared to the cold I'd felt before. That world I'd seen right after I had erased Kurisu's memories from Kagari. Kurisu was there. Mayuri was there. Everyone was there. It was a scene from that very brief peace I'd had during that summer. But that world had been so cold. And now I knew why. That was the world that I'd experienced when I was asleep, existing only as data. A world built only of zeros and ones. Like being alive, even when you're dead. Or being forced to stay alive, even though you were dead. The people I loved were there. But there was no warmth. I could reach out and touch them. But there wasn't even a little bit of warmth. It was like floating in deep, dark space, without any light at all. And Kurisu Makise was now experiencing that too. He was all alone in a cold world, without the slightest trace of warmth. I raised my hand up under the fluorescent light. I could see the veins rising up out of it, and the red blood flowing in them. I was alive. There was warmth. But could I really say that I was alive? Now that my memories had been digitized? After being exposed to that cold world, would I still really be called human? I heard a knock at the door and turned my eyes toward it. Like they said, the whole digitizing thing is the same as the time leap machine anyway. There's no real difference. Maho was standing there.
ヒヤジョウさん帰ったんじゃなかったのか
ちょっと忘れ物をしちゃってね。
忘れ物
それよりあなたこそ一人で何をしているのかしら。
Maho showed no signs of looking for whatever she had lost. Instead, she came right up and sat down in front of me.
さっきもずっと難しい顔してたわよね。何か気になることでもあるの？
Maybe she'd been worried enough to come back and check on me.
私じゃクリスの代わりにはなれないかもしれないけど、それでもよければ話してみて。
ヒヤジョウさん
She's a good egg. There was no need to worry about whether I could tell her or not. I needed her to make the time leap machine. And for that, she needed to hear everything.
嘘みたいな話だが聞いてくれるか
まったくあなたなんて人なの。
That was the first thing she'd said after I finished. Just like last time, it wasn't something that was easy for her to believe. But Maho must have sensed something in the way I spoke, because she listened until I finished. She interrupted me whenever there was something she didn't understand. She was especially interested in the time machine and the time leaps. I told her everything I knew about them.
信じてくれるのか？
信じないわけにはいかないでしょ。そんな顔して語られたら。それに実際にこんなものを見せられたら。
Yeah, it's pretty good proof.
いや、ジョーさん。
それにこれで納得がいったわ。前から不思議だったのよ。クリスは秋葉原に来てほとんど日を置かないまま死んでしまった。そんな彼女とあなたがそれほどに仲良くなれたということが。
あ
特にあの子のあの性格でしょ。そんな期間にそれも男の人と親しくなるなんて。
she's asking the big
よっぽどのことがあったん
questions.
じゃないかと思っていたのだけど。
So that was it, she whispered to herself.
それであなたは何を気にしているの？
I turned away from her. She putting the pieces together.
岡部さん？
俺は俺なんだろうか？
どういうこと？
聞いただろ。今の俺の頭の中にある記憶、それは一度データとなってハードディスクの中に保管されていた記憶だ。いわば人工記憶と言ってもいい。そんな俺は果たして俺自身だと言えるんだろうか？
Bro, your memories were digitized before. With the time leaps in general. There's no difference. Want to smack him.
生きている。
Lock in.
そう言えるんだろうか？
There was blood running through my body. But what was in my head had been changed into zeros and ones. Didn't that make me no different than Amadeus?
なんだ、そんなことで悩んでたの？バカバカしい。
But Maho just laughed at my worries.
あなたは哲学的ゾンビって知ってる？
Philosophical zombie, a thought experiment proposed by philosopher David Chalmers, explained, well, yeah, they're an individual sensory experience like red, a good smell, or sweet. A philosophical zombie is someone whose external experience, internal structure, and words and actions mirrors a human's, but who lacks these qualia. In this case, we would be unable to distinguish between philosophical zombies and ordinary humans. I think I butchered so many words, I'm so sorry.
確か思考実験の一つだろう。姿形から行動に至るまで人間そっくりだが、意識や感情が結合している存在は客観的に人間と区別ができるのかどうかという。
I hesitated a little as I answered her sudden question.
ま、大体合っているわね。
She nodded satisfied like a teacher would do.
じゃあ仮にここに人間そっくりの外見をした人工知能が存在するとするわよ。人間と同じように振る舞い、同じように行動する。誰かが困っていれば手を差し伸ばし、悲しい時には涙する。これは決められたプロセスなのかもしれないけれど、でもそれは人間だって同じ。個人個人で定められたプロセスに従って考えて反応する。私たちはそのプロセスを意識や感情という言葉に置き換えているだけじゃないかしら。
I thought I understood what Maho was trying to say.
つまり AI にだって感情はあると？
少なくとも私たち科学者はそういうものを作り出すために日々研究を重ねているつもりよ。
She puffed out her chest with pride.
じゃあ岡部さん、あなたは感情を持った AI は人ではないと思う？
If they looked just like a person and thought just like them and had feelings too, they were a person.
いや、
でしょ？そもそも個人を個人たらしめているのは記憶よ。その人が生まれ経験したこと、感じたもの、その集合体が人間なの。だから岡部倫太郎、たとえ一度データになっていても、あなたの記憶と体を持つあなたは紛れもなく人間、岡部倫太郎よ。心配いらない。
ヒヤジョーさん。
だいたいクリスの作り出したっていうそのタイムリープマシンだって記憶を一度データ化して還元するものなんでしょ？
Thank you!
だったら今さら思い悩むだけ無駄だと思わない？
There's no difference! That was what Daru had told me in the future too. But strangely, when she said it, it made me feel better. Man! Yo, rip Daru.
こういう時
I get it,
ク
but
リスな
damn.
らもっと的確なことを言えたのかもしれないけど。
いや、そんなことないよ。十分だ。
Maho had given her opinion, as a brain scientist, that I was still me. There was a strength in her words, just like there had been in Kurisu's when she'd driven me forward. I remembered what Maho had said before.
あなたは天才で、所詮私はサリエリだったってことよ。
She'd been speaking to the memories of Kurisu inside Kagari, but
ヒヤジョーさん。君はサリエリなんかじゃない。立派なアマデウスだ。
hell yeah. That's right. I'm here, right now. I'm alive and here in this time, not in that cold sea of black data. I'm here in this time. A light came on in the darkness. My cold heart began to warm, but Risu, she was still trapped inside that world. Inside that sterile, lifeless world that froze you to the depths of your soul. Even after her death, her memories were still alive, and there were all kinds of conspiracies forming around her living memories. Even after she lost her body, Kurisu's pain continued. No, it wasn't just Kurisu. Kagari and Suzuha. And in the future, Mayuri, Ferris, Lukaku, and Daru too. Everyone was suffering, everyone was miserable, but still they tried to move forward. All I had cared about was whether Mayuri survived. I thought that even if the Third World War came, no matter what happened to the world, as long as Mayuri was happy, that was all that mattered. I tried to think that. I thought that no matter how much blood and tears awaited us in the future, as long as things were fine now, that was all that mattered. I thought I'd understood. I thought I'd understood how awful the future that Suzuha described was, and how hard Daru and Suzuha would have to fight. I thought I understood all that. Suzuha, firing her gun and staining her hands with blood like it was nothing at all. Mayuri and Ferris, pale and colorless. Lukaku lying on the ground and never getting up again. Kagari and the others whose lives were ruined by fate. I'd seen them with my own eyes and touched them with my own hands, and then I finally understood. I'd been only pretending to know so I could run away. I told myself that I was going to die in 2025 and looked the other way. 2025. I wasn't dead. Everyone just thought so. Everyone had been deceived. That's right, deceived. Me in the past, and everyone else in the future. The world was deceived. I thought the future was settled, but a different future awaited me.
タインズゲート世界線への道は険しい。一度や二度やり直したところでたどり着ける道ではないだろう。けれどまずはそこから始めることがシュタインズゲートへとつながるんじゃないか。11年前オカリンはそう言ってた。だからさ、僕たちがいるこの世界も無駄じゃない。きっと必要な世界なんだ。少なくとも今の僕はそう思ってる。
I had no way of knowing what would make me say that 14 years from now. All I knew was that 14 years from now, I would know this day was coming. So maybe I should do what I said. If that future in 2036 was necessary, then maybe a world where Karisu was released from her electronic prison was necessary too. No matter how hard the path would be, I had to take the first step. And what I needed right now was that first step.
ヒアジョーさん、
何？
アメリカに帰る前にもう少し付き合ってもらえるか。
そうね。条件が2つあるわ。
条件？
1つはこのタイムマシンを調べさせてほしいってこと。
Girl, you're there right now. I say, but she definitely wants to be inside that thing.
もう一つは？
あなたのこと、オカリンさんって呼ばせてもらう。あなたは私をマホって呼びなさい。
That's cute. Friendship.
悪くない条件だと思うけど。
There was an innocent smile on her face, the likes of which I'd never seen before.
わかった。魔法。
よろしく、オカリンさん。
When she put her small hand against mine, I felt a solid warmth.
どうしたんだにゃ、オカリン。一度帰った後にわざわざ呼び出すにゃんて。
そうだよ。僕なんてそれほど近いわけじゃないんだからさ。話があるなら帰る前に言ってほしかったのだぜ。
I'd called all the lab members back after they'd left to go home, and they weren't happy. Damn.
それで、お話って何かな、オカリン。
Yeah, what are we doing?
LINE や電話じゃダメなお話ですか？
ああ。その前に、鈴葉。
何？
一つ聞きたい。お前は俺のことをどう思っている？
Interesting.
どうとは？
オカリン、まさか。いくらオカリンでも鈴葉はあげらんないよ。お父さんは認めません。ダメ、絶対。
I ignored Daru, who seemed to have gotten the wrong idea completely, and turned back towards Suzuha.
お前はこの半年、俺のことを見ていたはずだ。その上で、心の中ではどう思っていた？率直な言葉を聞かせてほしい。
言っていいのか？
She's like, damn, you want me to roast you?
ああ。
正直言うと腹が立ってしょうがなかった。
Yeah. Yeah, that was honest. I chuckled.
私や父さんやまゆ姉さんだけじゃない。ルミ姉さんもルカ兄さんもカガリも。未来の世界ではみんな辛い思いをしている。明日は生きているかどうかもわからない。母さんみたいに無残に殺されてしまうかもしれない。そんな世界で必死になって生きてるんだ。
I still don't know if I trust your mother, but, put a pin in that.
それなのに弱音ばかり吐いて自分ばかりが辛いようなことを言って。
When she started talking, she didn't stop. This must have been building up for a long time.
もちろんオカリンおじさんが辛い経験をしてきたことは知ってる。何度も何度も苦しい目にあって、それで立ち上がれなくなったことだって知ってる。それでも私たちにはオカリンおじさんしか頼れる人がいないんだ。
She looked down, clenched her fists, and grit her teeth.
私や父さんに代わりが務まるのならどんなことでもやる。どんな辛い思いをしようが、どんな苦しみが待ち構えていようが、それでも何だってやる。
鈴葉。
だけど私たちじゃどうしようもできないから。オカリンおじさんじゃなければどうにもできないから。
She suddenly looked up, and I could see on her face all the complicated feelings she'd been holding back.
それなのにおじさんと来たら無理だとかできないとか勘弁してくれとか、そんな弱音ばかりで話を聞いてくれようとさえしない。父さんの手前だから言わなかったけど、私はそんなおじさんの態度にずっと腹が立ってた。本当にぶん殴ってやりたいくらいだったよ。
It probably felt good to get that off her chest.
鈴葉、何もそこまで言わんでも。
そうだにゃ。オカリンだって分かってるんだにゃ。
Well, he does now. I did understand, yeah. I understood that something had to be done.
だったらそうしてもらおうか。
そうするとは。
殴りたかったんだろう。だったら殴ってみればいい。
でも
Dude, did the time leaps do something to your brain? She's gonna freaking drop him.
遠慮はいらない。
Okabe! You're right, but like, you're not built for that, bro.
すずさん、やめて。オカリンは。
いいんだ、まゆり。
This was my way of settling things. With Suzuha. With the future. And with myself.
オカリンさん。
もしかし
Excuse me.
て、そういう性癖だったら止めんけど。
本当にいいんだな。
Suzuha took a step towards me.
ああ、
I was ready.
じゃあ本気で行く。
ああ、いや、待て。少しは手加減を。
せい。
Get him!
ハグボア
What? Me too, man. She hit me hard enough to knock me across the room.
悪かった。少し力が入りすぎた。
今すごい音
As
したわよ。
expected.
大丈夫、オカ
Everyone ran over and looked down at me. Yeah, that hurt a lot. It probably did more damage to my brain than reading Steiner or the time leaps. But
岡部さん。
it woke me up. Oh shit! Now I just had to do what I could do. Or do what I could.
おかりん。
He's back!
もしかして今日もオカリン。
違うぞ、まゆり。法王院京馬だ。
The freaking voice, dude!
京
そうだ。我が名は不王院京だ。ラボ面ナンバー001。このラボの創設者にして混沌を望み世界の支配構造を覆すマッドサイエンティスト フローインキャーナだ。ルカコ。
はい
白衣を持て。
Yo!
はい京馬さん京馬が復活したにゃー父さんこれは
やったな鈴葉。ようやくオカリンがやる気になったのだぜ。
京馬さんどうぞ
I love from how their point of view, they don't know what the hell happened. It kind of just seems like Suzuha just knocked him in the head and Kyoma came back.
うむ。
I put my lab coat on for the first time in a very long time. It had been sitting on the shelf in the back so long that it smelled a little moldy.
そう。これだ。
Yo!
これこそが我が聖なる白金の鎧。今この時法王院京馬は復活した。長い眠りから蘇ったのだ。
Oh my god, Maho! Kagari and Maho were seeing Kyoma Hoenn for the first time, and they were shocked into silence. Yeah?
何なの
No,
殴られたショックでおかしくなった
understandable.
の思い出した
What?
法院京馬ママがいつも言ってた名
Hoenn
前
Kyoma. Oh.
いつかきっと法院京馬が復活して私たちの未来を照らしてくれるっ
Man!
ていやちょっとついていけないんですけど
おい、そこのロリッコ。
Don't call her that!
あ
お前だお前。
もしかして私のことを言ってるんじゃないでしょうね
この間にロリッコといえばお前しかいないだろう。
誰がロリッコよ誰が
貴様にはラボメンナンバー009の栄誉を与える。こ
009.
の法王院京馬の手足と俺たちのオペレーションに参加するがいい。
なんで私があなたの手足にならなきゃいけないのよそれにそのラボメンナンバーって何
名前の通りこのラボの正式メンバーに選ばれた証だ。光栄に思う。
光栄にって
それから椎名係。貴様もラボメンナンバー010だ。わかったな。
Cute.
ちょっと京馬フェイリスたちはラボメンにはしてくれないのかにゃ
You already are.
うん。
Ferris and Lukaku seemed upset. Come to think of it, I'd made them lab members in the Alpha World line, but not this one.
言っていなかったがもちろんお前たちはすでにラボメンだ。ルカコは006、フェイリスは007、そして鈴葉は008。いいな。
As it should be.
よくわからないけど了解した
なあオカリン、それおかしくね？それじゃあ004と005が不在じゃん。
その2つには戦略があるんだな。
For Kurisu and Moeka. To be honest, I didn't like the idea of leaving Moeka as an official lab member. But in order to reach a future where that could be true, I would have to face the past right now. That was my decision.
では全員が揃ったところで改めて宣言する。本日2011年1月31日をもって新たなるオペレーションを発動する。目的は予定された未来の粉砕 世界の未来そのものを覆すこと。それが俺たちの目的だ。いいな。
He's cooking. Oh my god, we're talking to ourselves again. We're so back.
これより
Truly.
俺たちは新たなるオペレーションを実行に移す。未来の俺は言った。いくつもの未来のその先にシュタインズゲートは待っていると。
Oh my
これから
god.
導く未来がたとえ茨の道だとしてもきっと無駄なものではないはずだ。分かっている。
This feels insane after what
俺
we've
た
been
ちの目
through.
指す扉
But I'm okay. I'm so happy.
そこにたどり着くには途方もない時間がかかるだろう。いかなる機関が俺たちを阻止せんと立ちふさがるかもしれない。それでも俺は何度だってやり直してやるさ。健闘を祈ってくれ。エルプサイコングレウ。
Let's go! Freaking dorky music on top of it. After I finished my phone call, I realized that everyone was staring at me. Please don't look at me that way. I'm embarrassed too. At least he's self-aware.
これはいわばそう儀式のようなものだ。
儀式ね。
Yes, this was the ceremony. The ceremony to stop my fears from getting the best of me again.
まさかオカリンさん、あなたクリス相手にもそんな態度だったんじゃないでしょうね。
She's suddenly like, what the hell did Kurisu see in him?
岡部ではない。今日まだ。
ふざけているの。
マホタン、あんま突っ込むのやめてあげて。オカリンもまだ模索してる最中だから。
はあ、
She's so disappointed.
そっか、これが法王院京馬さんなんだね。
Oh my god.
そうだよ。狂気のマッドサイエンティストさんなのです。
Kagari has heard about him her entire life, and now she's witnessing it and being like, huh. Uh-huh.
いにしえのアルケミストの生まれ変わりでもあるのにゃ。
Alchemy. In fiction and conspiracy theories, a technology that allows for any kind of material, even the human body and soul, to be changed into another. However, the principle of equivalent exchange must be observed. Real alchemists existed in medieval Europe, where they tried to use chemical methods to create precious metals. The techniques they developed would become the foundation of modern chemistry.
精神残魔流の師範でもあるんですよ。すごい。
I love how everyone else is so happy that he's back.
ダメだ、父さん。私、ついていけない。
Please don't stare at me like that. It's breaking my heart.
それで、具体的にはどうするつもりなの？
まず最初に言っておくが、俺たちが最終的に目指すのは第三次世界大戦の起こらない未来だ。
Just like I told myself a second ago, I didn't expect to get to the world line we wanted, the Steins Gate world line, immediately. Just like I had to build up to the Beta world line little by little, I'd have to go through many pasts and many futures. And to do that, I first had to write this world line's future. This world line had lost Kurisu, and the price for that was dire indeed. But I wouldn't let the future that awaited us be so full of suffering and pain. I wouldn't let it happen. Everything had to begin with that. Even if the future before us would end up never having happened at all. That was my responsibility, since I had chosen this world.
このベータ世界線においても俺が何度か世界線の変動を経験してきたことは説明したな。まずはその原因を取り除かなければならない。
原因って何なのにゃ？
マキセ・クリスのノート PC とハードディスク、そしてアマデウスに残るクリスの記憶。
The laptop! We're finally back to that too! The time machine paper contained on the hard drive and all of her memories relating to it. All of those world line changes. It was safe to assume that they'd been caused by Stratfor and others fighting over them.
ゆえにクリスのノート PC とハードディスクの破棄、並びにクリスの記憶のデータを消去すること、これが今回のオペレーションの最終目的となる。
クリスのデータを消去？そんな本気なの？
ああ、
でもあの記憶はクリスが生きていた証なのよ。あの子がこの世界で私たちと同じ時間を過ごしたっていう証拠なのよ。私は消去なんてしてほしくない。
That's what our memories are for. I knew how she felt. Until a few days ago, I would have agreed.
だったら君はクリスの記憶が悪用されてもいいというのか？
それは
俺たちのいるこの世界線に至るまでのいくつかの過去において、あいつの記憶は争いの種になってきた。それに多くの人間が巻き込まれている。そこにいるカガリだってそうだ。
Yeah, at this point, Kagari was just the beginning, I suppose. Or at least the beginning that we know about. What happened to Kagari in the past several years, that probably hasn't changed in this world line. Which meant that that was just another tragedy caused by the Pandora's box that was Kurisu's memories. A box given to mankind by the gods in Greek mythology. We were told never to open it, but a girl named Pandora let her curiosity get the best of her and opened it anyway. The box was filled with disasters, all of which were unleashed upon the world. It said that the one thing that remained in the box was hope.
それに俺は一度データの中の世界を経験して知った。あの世界の冷たさをな。
That's right. I knew. I knew how cold that world was. It was a world inside a tiny box, with no past, present, or future.
それほどまでに暗く冷たい世界にずっとクリスを閉じ込めておいて、君は平気なのか？それにあいつが生きていたという証は俺たち自身のここにある。
I put my finger to my head. You know, that makes sense. My brain was like, he's probably pointing to his heart.
俺たちが覚えていること、そしてその上で
Both could be true.
第三次世界大戦の起きない平穏な世界へと導くこと、それこそがあいつが生きていた証拠になるんじゃないのか。
Maho fell silent as the whole group turned toward her.
陳腐なセリフね。それこそクリスが聞いていたら笑われるわよ。
Yeah, she would.
だろうな。
だけど陳腐だと思えることにほど真実はあるのかもしれないわね。
Maho's dark frown became a smile.
あなたに従うわ。
ありがとう。ダル、クリスの PC とハードディスクは
お前が持っているんだよな。
Hack! Do it, buddy! I'm so ready!
うん。マホタンから預かって簡単には見つからんところに隠してる。
それはアマデウスの件が終わったらすぐに破棄してくれ。
Or that! You know, fine! Fair! I guess! God damn it! Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what we should do. You're right. You're right.
本当にいいん？
Me for like every stream being like, we're gonna hack that thing! I bamboozled myself. We gotta break that shit. Man. He looked back at Maho, and this time she nodded.
ええ。でも、それは私にやらせて。
OK。
Gotta feel good to freaking destroy a laptop, I bet. I feel like that would be satisfying in a weird way. Not that I would ever do it. I don't really have a laptop to destroy. But you know. The problem now is Amadeus.
マホ、アマデウスのあるサーバーにアクセスできるか？
ええ、できるはずよ。橋田さん、ちょっと PC を貸してもらえる？
え？あ、ちょい待ち。
Dara motioned for her to stop with one hand, then started typing something into the keyboard.
何をしてるんだにゃ？
See freaking deleting everything ever that was on his computer.
一応 IP がバレないよう厳重に細工を。OK、
Oh!
どうぞ。
Oh, hell yeah, I'm impressed. Okay. Officially Internet Protocol. However, the term IP is often mistakenly used to describe an IP address. An IP address is essentially an ID number given to a computer to allow it to exchange information via the internet or a LAN. The Internet Protocol is the methods and standards used to exchange the information. I'm so proud. I really thought he'd be like closing some hentai games or some shit. He's growing up! Maho took over from Daru at the computer.
おかしいわ。アクセスできない。
どういうことだ？
Can you not get into Amadeus?
パスワードが間違ってるってことは？
そんなミスするわけないでしょ。今まで何度も入力してきたんだから。
Maho tried the password a few more times, but she still couldn't access the server.
私のアクセス権限自体が停止されちゃってるみたい。どういうことなのこれ。ちょっと教授に電話してみる。
Maho took out her phone and called Dr. Leshkinin. She put the phone next to her ear for a moment, then frowned and put it down.
ダメ。繋がらない。
Man. She tried calling Dr. Reyes too, but that didn't work either. That's a little weird. That both of them aren't answering.
どうなってるのよこれ。
They, sure hope they're okay.
やはりそう簡単にはいかないか。
If Maho's access rights had been taken away, that must have meant someone was about to do something.
別のアプローチ方法を探ってみよう。ビクトル・コンドリア大学のサーバーにハッキングできるか？
OK、ちょっとやってみる。
簡単に言ってるけど、うちの研究所のセキュリティ結構厳しいわよ。
Oh, Maho. Sweet, sweet Maho.
大丈夫だ。なんたってダルはスーパーハッカーだからな。
He said it!
それを言うならスーパーハッカーな。
He had broken CERN security in just 20 hours. I had absolute faith in him. Daru and Maho were staring at the screen and discussing something. He was probably asking her for details to make his hacking more efficient. I needed to do what I could while I waited. I went back into the development room and opened up a box that had just arrived that day. Mayuri looked over my shoulder into the box.
あー電子レンジちゃんだ
Ah, microwave!
唐揚げは解凍しないからな。
残念みん
Why
な
not?
がお腹空いたらジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンを振る舞ってあげようと思ったのに
First, I needed to reconstruct the phone wave. After that, I'd have Maho help me make the time leap machine. On my way back from the future, I'd memorized every bit of how it worked, so it didn't take very long.
橋田さんあなたすごいわ
It was about 30 minutes later when when I heard Maho's odd voice.
やったのか。
He's in already?
僕にかかればこれくらい朝飯前だぜ。
スーパーハッカーの名は伊達じゃないな。じゃあ早速アマデウスのデータを探してくれ。
待って今開いて
I swallowed and looked at the screen as I listened to the mouse click.
ないアマデウスもクリスの記憶データもあったはずのフォルダからなくなってるわ
Oh, good.
すでに持ち出されたということか。
So we're too late.
待てよ。
Wait, the app's back! I unlocked my phone and called up the home screen. Oh shit. Amadeus's icon was still there.
なあ、このアプリからアマデウスにアクセスできると思うか。
Maho looked over at my phone.
どうかしらアマデウスのデータそのものがサーバーに残ってないならさすがに無理なんじゃ試してみて
So I guess we are... Does that mean we're back in a timeline that Amadeus went long enough to be made into an app, I guess? Interesting.
どうしたの
いざ繋がった時のことを考えるとな。慎重にいかないと。
Interesting. Because, I mean, when we got rid of Karisu's memories from Kagari, in that world line, the Amadeus app didn't exist. So I would have assumed that we were back there. But I guess not. I suppose it makes sense to not be in the exact same one, but we were still in a world line where we got rid of the memories. Slight variance.
そうね誰かに見られているかもしれない
Just trying to keep track of where we are. Need a map.
ん
どうしたダル。
ここ、さらに鍵がかけられてるフォルダがある。
どれ
Memory. Maho leaned forward and stared at the monitor.
変ねこんなフォルダ今までなかったわ
Oh, hey, Aya. What's up?
かなり厳重なセキュリティがかかってるっぽい。さっきのとは比にならんくらい。
アマデウスはそっちに移されたのかしら
Hopefully it's in there. Instead of just being completely gone.
でも一体誰が
But
そんな権限を持っているのはレスキネン教授ぐらいよ
that might be a little sus.
レスキネン教授には裏の顔があったか、あるいは教授の身に何かあったか。
Forgetting that life exists and that it's Sunday and you're streaming. It is Sunday. I have been. Girl! So much shit happened, let me tell you. A lot. It's been a day. Truly. Suddenly it's like, it's 6 p.m. Like, where did the time go? I feel that. It's, you know. Actually, I'm surprised. It's 8, and I was low-key... I guess I'm used to, when I end the stream, usually it's dark by then. So I took out, all of our, recycling has to go out tomorrow, so I made sure to take it out before stream. So I'm like a little bit shocked that it's still bright out right now. I don't know if it will be when I'm done, but I probably won't do too much longer, but like a little bit. I did start late, so it'll be a shorter stream today, but hey, at least I made it 2 days in a row, so you know what? We take what we can get sometimes, you know? Oh, I sure hope my Amish man isn't evil. That would be crazy. Neither possibility was appealing. I'm so sorry to this man. He's not Amish. He just...
そのフォルダは一旦保留だ。
It's just his color palette. It speaks to me. It just gives Amish in my brain. Just give him like one of them hats.
次は
I do.
ストラト4の
'Cause
サーバ
it's-
ーにハックを仕掛けてくれ。
I'm doing better now, but it's freaking hot today. So I was like really sweaty when I got here. So I was like, you know, we're putting the hair up because that's how I feel in real life. So I don't want my hair touching my head. But it's okay, you know, I've been here for like almost 3 hours and I got the AC blasting on like high. But yeah, shit was dire. It's yeah, the weather's been weird. We had like a week where it was really super warm and then it's been like not again. Like it's been fine, but it's just been really humid and gross. Like more like not warm, but humid. So it's like, what's the point? Or raining and humid. And the humidity just kills me. It gives me really bad migraines and stuff. And it just feels gross. Like, I hate everything feeling sticky. But, dude, AC is absolutely the whole bill. It's the only thing keeping me... If I'm not cranking the AC, I'd be cranking the dehumidifier these days just to help with that. But yeah, it hasn't been that warm, which, today, I was surprised, because when I had looked at the, temperature this morning, it didn't seem like it was gonna be much, but, then I went out to eat with my parents, and it was so warm. Oh my god, you just made me remember. When I took out the garbage, so all my cardboard is like, you know, to take it from here to the garage, I like kind of stack it into piles and then I go at it with duct tape to kind of, you know, make it manageable for carrying around, as opposed to it going everywhere. Some of my freaking duct tape, there was like 2 of the piles, the duct tape from the humidity was all coming off. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I was trying to take it from the barn out to the side of the road, and the freaking duct tape was just peeling off. I was like, I'm gonna shit. I was so mad. Cause there was some that I used slightly less duct tape on, because I was like, oh, it's fine. I can get that from here to there. I sure didn't think of humidity, but I'll have to remember for the next time I get a bunch and have to take it back out again that I'm gonna have to really duct tape it like a madman, because that shit, yeah, it was just all peeling off. I was like, you've gotta be kidding me. I feel bad for, well, it was still kind of hanging together, but I was trying to convince Andrew to go get duct tape yesterday to keep my banner up. Between too humid and hot, it did not stay on at all. Yeah, I can imagine. I remember as a kid having like posters in my room, and they would just always fall because, you know, I just freaking used tape, like a child. But it would always, especially when we would go to the cottages, I would like come home in the fall and half of them would be like not, they would be fighting for their lives trying to still be staying up. But yeah, I did not, I was genuinely surprised. I don't think I've ever had it happen before that the duct tape is peeled off because of the humidity. I mean, it's always bad here, but that was a surprise, so I'll have to remember to, go all out, because, yeah. If not, it just becomes a bit of a disaster. But thankfully I got it all out of the road, so. It's like, I want to enjoy summer if the weather could just work with me. If it could just give me some nice weather so I could like take Molly for some nice walks. I'm trying to get some sun time when I can, but it being just humid and gross is not my cup of tea.
えストラト4ってあのなんでストラト 4?
Threat the four.
おそらく今回の騒動の一端を担っているはずだ。
Anyway,
以前ハックしたことがあるから。
we lock back in.
つうかオカリンなんでそんなことまで知ってんのエスパーかよ
I can tell you that yesterday's VOD is already up. And hopefully tonight's will be up somewhat quickly as well. So.
俺を誰だと思っている。
If you wish to see the chaos.
すべてお見通しだ。
Dude, Squeak is like, I don't know what has been up with her, but she's like obsessed with the corner that's like right behind my AC. She's like over there all the time now. I don't know. If she's not in her cat tree, she's over there. She's screaming bloody murder. Man, I know how that is. I'm sure she'll be doing that. Well, every now and then she'll hop up in the cat tree and she'll meow at me. I'll have to pet her while we're streaming here. But at least I have that now. It works quite well. Give me a sec, he said as he typed something else into the computer.
ストラト4のサーバーは
I need to clean her litter box after stream though, so she'll be screaming if I don't. I also need to do laundry, but that might be a tomorrow thing. I'm not gonna think about that. I could tell he'd done it once before. Interesting. This time he got through a lot faster than it took him to break into the university.
そのアマデウスっつうシステムのデータを探せばいいんだよね
ちょっと待って。
Maho leaned her tiny body forward again and took the mouse from Daru. She clicked on an icon. The screen filled with some kind of text.
これレポートだわ。
We tried cat trees by our PCs, but Stare never used it. He'd sit behind our chairs and scream scream more when his tail got run over. I'm genuinely surprised that this worked as well as it has. She really likes the one that I got her. Which I wasn't expecting. No, we are not hacking Karisu's laptop. We are trying to hack into Amadeus. Because Amadeus is currently Maho cannot log into it. A lot has happened. We're gonna break Karisu's laptop. She opened several more files, but since they were written in English, she couldn't read them. Or we couldn't read them. What did she find?
一体何のレポートなんだ？
実験よ。ストラト4が行っていた人体実験。
I'm shocked! It's almost like Kagari was one of the humans.
人体実験？
どうやらストラト4は記憶の移植実験を行っていたみたいね。誰かの記憶データを別人に移し定着させる実験をいくつも行っているわ。
Which is very interesting, because in that one world line, Amadeus got shut down, I think because they wanted to do something similar? And people were against it? Memory transplant experiments. That was...
最初こそ動物を使っていたようだけど、最終的には生身の人間で行われてる。被験者には身寄りのない人を利用したみたい。大人から子供まで人種も様々。
She looked down at the report again.
どうした？まだ何かあるのか？
どうやら彼ら記憶移植に関する新しい実験に着手しようとしてるみたい。
Oh. It was safe to assume the experiments had something to do with the time machine. They were trying to force open the black box of Kurisu's memories in order to gain information about the time machine. Even if they couldn't get the password for the laptop from Amadeus, if they could access her memories directly, it would give them everything they needed. It was just like what had been done to Kagari in the last world line, but on a more advanced level.
とにかく今はクリスの記憶データを探すのが先決だ。ダル、データはありそうか
？He took the mouse back from Maho and sighed.
いや、ないね。それらしいもんは見当たらない。
What was going on? Hadn't Stratford stolen the Amadeus data from Victor Condria?
一番怪しいのはやっぱ大学のサーバーじゃね？あのプロテクトがかかってたとこ。
Which meant that they were working without stealing the data. Did they hack it like we did? Or...
どうする？
魔法を信じよう。ダル、侵入できるか？
できるけど、
We gotta see
これは
what's
ちょっ
in
と
there.
骨が折れると思われ。
どれくらいかかりそうだ？
わからんけど、下手したらまるっと半日以上はかかるかも。
If Daru said so, it must have been really heavily protected.
しかも途中でハッキングかけてるのがバレたら全部おじゃん。
We needed to hack in to get rid of Kurisu's memory data. And until Daru finished, we needed to keep Stratford distracted. The problem was, how?
アマデウスと通信している最中は、こっちの位置情報はどうなるんだ？
全部把握されるわ。当然アマデウスのプログラムを持っている連中にもね。
I thought so.
問題はアマデウスにつながるかどうか。
First, I needed to see if the app even worked anymore. Yeah, that's the real question. If it did, I had an idea.
魔法、一つ無茶な頼みをしていいか？
Don't just do that! Man. A full day had passed since the operation began. Daru still hadn't managed to break the lock on that folder. That's insane. How could they do that to me? Thankfully, they hadn't detected him yet, but that didn't mean we were safe. While Daru did its work, I finished my own and then handed the rest off to Maho. My actions might have changed the future already, but we still had to do our jobs. It's really rude. Suzuha had her arms crossed, expression stern. She had been that way for a while. At a glance, she looked calm, but I could see her tapping her arm with her index finger.
おじさん、私たちにできることはないの？
We were finally ready to stop the Third World War. It had to bother her that there was nothing she could do. It had to be stopped as soon as possible, but all she could do now was wait. She was frustrated and on edge. But that was true of everybody else.
もう少しだ。ダルもマホも頑張ってくれている。
Once Maho completed what I'd asked for, there would be something we could do too.
フェリス、甘いものとか買ってくるにゃ。疲れた時には甘いものが一番にゃ。
You're so right,
それ
Ferris.
じゃあ僕も。
Me thinking about the pie downstairs. Just as the two of them stood up, the development room's curtain opened. Hey, Maho. What'd you do? What'd you make? Maho flinched a little as everyone stared at her, but she quickly smiled. Then she thought better of it and tried to look more serious.
まったく。大変なことをいっぺんに頼まないでよね。
すまん。それで終わったのか？
言われたことは一応ね。
The microwave in the back was connected to a different headset than the one I'd seen last year. It was the same one she'd used to take my memories. That's why she'd been able to finish this in such a short time. Oh! She make it already? A time leap machine. So it was done then. Now, even if I had the time leap from the future, I could go back to 48 hours from now.
それからこっちも。
She offered me a pair of smartphones. These gadgets would be our secret weapons in the upcoming battle. I had Maho make them too. They used a simple AI to create a pseudo-response algorithm that would deceive our opponents.
さすがだな。こんな短時間に AI を作るなんて。
自分で頼んでおいてよく言うわ。
Her face looked exhausted. She's so smart!
アマデウスで使っている音声ソフトがあったから流用して開発期間を短縮したの。
I can't use my phone. I wanted to see if it would pop up.
それ
Sad.
にこれは AI なんて大層な代物じゃない。
I wanted to see if it would be one of the new phones.
こんなものでごまかせるのかしら。相手はクリスなのよ。
Ooh. What's the game plan? We're gonna fool her?
少しの時間だけでも騙せればそれでいいんだ。ダルのハッキングから連中の目をそらせればそれでいい。
The goal was just to keep Stratford confused. We didn't need to hold a long conversation. We'd just hook it up for a short time and end the call shortly afterward. It was time to get started. But first... I hit the send button on a message I'd already typed to Moeka Kiryu. Oh. It says, just do it like we discussed. I wish I knew what they discussed! Once it was done, I turned toward the group.
では作戦の概要を説明する。
Suzuha, Mayuri, Ferris, Lukako. I offered them the phones that I'd just been given by Maho.
4人には2人1組になってもらう。そうしたらこのスマホを持って都内を動き回ってくれ。ペア同士はできるだけ離れた方がいいな。片方の組は中央線沿線、もう片方は山手線沿線ということにしよう。お互いに連絡を取り合いつつ、スマホにインストールされているアマデウスというアプリを立ち上げてくれ。
Interesting, okay. While Daru was doing his hacking, I'd left Akihabara and tried to contact Amadeus from Tokyo Station. And it had worked. Kurisu had responded. I'd cut it off instantly, but I was sure of it. The app was still working. And this plan was going to use it.
立ち上げてどうするの？
Did they make an AI? Did they make a freaking Ocarina AI?
アマデウスはマキセ・クリスという人物の記憶をもとに作られた
They must
人
have.
工知能だ。俺たちは今からそいつを騙す。
That's right. Our goal was to deceive Kurisu. When we contacted Amadeus, the enemy would know where we were. My plan was to take advantage of that fact.
アマデウスを立ち上げると同時にもう一つのプログラムが起動する。
もう一つのプログラムってなんだにゃ？そこの S ってマークのあるアイコンをタップしてみてもらえる？
S.
これかにゃ？
Oh, she named it after that one thing. That one, the one name. Ferris tapped her phone.
もしもし、俺だ。
Yo! That's good.
オカリンの声だ。
That's sneaky.
話しかけてみてくれ。
今日はどうしたんだにゃ？
特に用はないんだ。少し話がしたくなってな。
すごい。自動的に答えてくれるんですね。
What I'd asked Maho to make was a simple program that detected words and phrases in a conversation and replied with set patterns. You could call it an artificial non-intelligence.
オカリンさんと私のボット。名付けてサリエリよ。
Yeah, that's the word. Thanks to the famous movie, Salieri was known as a lesser man with an inferiority complex, but in reality, he was a very talented composer. It felt a bit rude to the real Salieri to give his name to something like this, but there wasn't time to worry about that now.
アマデウスを起動すると、俺たちのボットが自動で返事をしてくれるようになっている。
Smart.
つまり相手に今喋っているのは岡部さんだって思わせるということですか？
そういうことだ。
Which meant Amadeus would think I was where they were. I would have liked to have had more terminals, but since Amadeus needed the cell phone to be registered with its systems, there weren't many I could use. All I had were my phone and Maho's, but for a short time period, it would be enough. Of course, Maho's phone had her own version of Salieri. And then there was the message I'd sent to Moika's Rhine. The plan was for her to spread information indicating that Maho and I had Kurisu's laptop and hard drive. Ah. Even if they were doing the memory experiments, they still wouldn't want someone else getting their hands on them. Sooner or later, they'd pick up on that information and come after me with everything they had. Amadeus was in their hands. If Amadeus's location data told them I was there, they would come looking. But we wouldn't be there at all. And then they'd get a call from someplace completely different and head there. The plan was to keep them occupied with that and keep their eyes off the server hacking.
以上が
It's a good
今
plan.
回の任務となる。
Everyone nodded.
くれぐれも言っておくが、アマデウスとの長時間の接触は厳禁だ。それから、アマデウスを切った後は、すぐにその場を移動すること。
I feel like the plan would only fail if Kurisu just doesn't answer.
すぐに連絡をよこすこと。
But to be fair, she might just get pissed from all the phone calls and abrupt endings that she might just keep answering anyway. It's hard to say.
これだけは絶対に守ってくれ。
She might just be like, why do you keep doing this? And then keep answering.
あの、
Or maybe it'll be slightly less abrupt, so it won't phase her as much. I don't know. Kagari raised her hand hesitantly.
君は連中に顔も知られている。
Girl, you've done enough. Just
ここから動かない方
take a nap.
でも私だって何か役に立ちたいよ。ママやみんなが頑張ってる中で一人何もできないでいるなんて、そんなの嫌だよ。
Well, this was a problem.
お願いオカリンさん、私にも手伝わせて。
I understood how she felt, but I still couldn't put her in danger.
すまないが。
かがりちゃん、マユシーがかがりちゃんの分まで頑張るよ。だからオカリンの言う通りにして。
I just love that everybody's involved. You know? Like, we've gone through the whole arc where Luca just wanted to, like, be a part of the team and be able to help. And now just immediately is, you know? Like... It's like that trope, kind of, where you're like, oh my god, talk to each other, please! I'm so glad everyone's talking to each other. It's like, I get it. He didn't want to put more people than necessary in danger, but I'm glad that they get to be included in the plan.
ママ、わかった。
Because it's definitely not something he can do alone. And I'm glad that he's realizing that. That seemed to be good enough for her.
おじさん、かがりには全てが終わるまでどこかに隠れさせておくべきじゃないか。
そうだな。だが、どこに？
If we were going to hide her, it would have to be at Lukaku's house or Ferris's place. Ferris's would probably be pretty
な
good.
んなら僕の隠れ家にでも行く？
隠れ家？
There's a hideout!
お前、そんなもの持ってるのか？
Since when?
バイト用にいくつかあるんよ。そこでよければどうぞ。
Okay.
よし、決まりだ。かがりもそれでいいか？
That must have been how they got places for the resistance.
わかった。
The issue was that I couldn't leave Kagari alone.
私にも何かやらせてもらえませんか？
Woman!
え？
Who let you in here? Don't you foil my plan! You freaking evil heathen that I don't trust. How did we just let her walk in? I turned around and saw that at some point Yuki had entered the room.
ユキさん、
Girl, you're not supposed to know shit!
橋田さんからここの鍵預かっていたので。
Daru! She showed us the key in her hand apologetically.
ゆうべ橋田さんに連絡したら、なんだか大変そうだったから差し入れようと思って持ってきたんだけど。
That is really nice, but I still don't trust you. She put the key away and then showed us a bag with the logo of a local cake shop on it.
事情はよくわかりませんが、何かできることがあるならと思って。
I don't...
でもさ、アマネシを巻き込むわけには。
We sure can't!
いや、かがりと一緒にいてもらうだけだ。問題ないだろう。
Before I'd thought that it was maybe Yuki who'd attacked the lab. But looking back, that was wrong. Was it? She was the woman in the motorcycle suit. There was no need to do something so elaborate. She could have just used the fact that she was in the same circle as Kagari to invite her somewhere and kidnap her. There was no need to take the risk of attacking the lab.
すまなかった。
I still don't trust her.
じゃあ、ユキさんはかがりと一緒にいてくれ。すべてが終わるまで、ダルの隠れ家に身を潜めてもらうことになる。場所はダルに聞いてくれ。
You better prove me wrong, girl. You're on thin ice.
事情は落ち着いたら教える。
Okabe may be cool with you, but I don't know. I don't know.
わかりました。
Yuki nodded. Now everything was ready. I looked around at everyone in the lab.
じゃあみんなあとは手はず通りに。
待ってオカリ。お別れ言わなくていいの？クリスさんに。
Goodbye. Amadeus was an artificial intelligence. She was an artificial being, not Karisu herself.
ちゃんとお別れして後悔しないように。
Mayuri handed back the phone I'd just given her.
そうだな。悪いがここで少し待っていてくれるか。
I left Mayuri and Lukaku behind and went to Akihabara Bridge. If I made contact with Amadeus, she'd know where I was. That's why I'd chosen this place. This was the first place I'd let Karisu see how weak I was, back when everything seemed at its darkest. An advertising van passed by, blaring jaunty opera music at a loud volume that clashed horribly with its flashy paint job. I waited for it to get out of earshot before I tapped the Amadeus icon. She showed herself immediately.
ずいぶんと久しぶりね。
It's been so long, holy shit.
そうだな。
私のことなんて忘れたんだと思ってたわ。
I hadn't forgotten. I could never forget.
いろいろあってな。
How many goodbyes had I said now? I'd said goodbye to her again and again, but I'd never gotten used to it.
それで今日はどうしたの？
君に聞きたいことがあったんだ。
何？またタイムマシンは作れるかって話？冗談。続けて。
もしもだ。もしも自分の命と引き換えに友達の命を救えるとしたら、君ならどうする？
You already know the answer.
質問の意図がよくわからないんだが。
答えてほしい。
She must have been able to tell from my words and expression that I was serious, because she took a serious expression as well.
その友達は大切な人なのよね。
ああ。
私にはまだやりたいことがたくさんあるわ。やらなければならないこともある。でもそれでももしもその友人や周りの人が幸せになるというのなら、甘んじて受け入れるかもしれない。
Karisu.
ごめんなさい。実際にそんな目にあったことないし、想像でしかないから確実なことは言えないけど、それでも一人でも私のことを覚えていてくれる人がいるなら、忘れないでいてくれる人がいるなら、とにかく私のことは忘れること。今日あったこともこれまであったこと。それが私の望みだから。
There, Molly. I'm gonna end in a minute. We're having a moment.
忘れるものか。
Never.
俺は決して忘れない。
This was a vow. A vow to get me through the time to come.
岡部さん？
つまらないことを聞いて悪かった。
ううん、それは構わないけど、何かあったの？
いや、なんでもないんだ。なんでも。それじゃあまたな。
待って。
え？
なんだか二度と会えなくなりそうな、そんな気がして。
Oh. Risu.
そんなことはないさ。
そうよね。私ったらなんで急にそんな風に思ったんだろう。
会えるさ。必ず。
That's right. This wasn't goodbye forever. I'd see her again, so I won't say goodbye. Not until I see you again.
また。
また。
Kurisu. I've got no idea how long it will take, but I'm going to reach you. I promise. I went back to Mayuri and Lukaku and gave them the phone.
お別れは済んだ？
It was really cute.
ああ。それじゃあ頼んだぞ。
I watched them disappear into the crowded station and went back to the lab. That van was still playing its loud music as it drove down the street. Alright. That feels like a good stopping point, especially because my tiny dog is awake and mad. Let me overwrite that again. Yep. But man, we had a lot happen today. Very good stream, even if it was a little shorter. Very happy with that. Nothing that happened today I could have been prepared for, not gonna lie. I was not expecting the stuff that happened to happen. Or well, some of it, I guess? I was not expecting going to the future. That was really cool. But, yeah, I guess I shouldn't, talk too much, because I think my tiny puppy really has to go pee. So, I'm gonna skedaddle, and I guess we'll test out and see if this whole new VOD thing works. So, thanks for hanging out, and I will catch y'all next weekend. Goodbye, friends!